Welcome back to episode 16 of Twin Set Unzipped. In this week's episode, we fill you in our recent trip to Istanbul. We had a great time, so make sure you listen. And we also touch on dealing with the travel anxiety that comes with going on work trips.
On a lighter note, we talk about getting naked in soft play, a recent experience of mine, not me being naked FYI, and we share some life-changing beauty hacks that we swear by.
We end the episode on our latest discovery this week. We discovered the theory of let them.
Let them. Let them, let them, let them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Check us out on @TwinSetUnzipped, @WeAreTwinSet, @WhatTheBrand, and of course, leave us a 5-star review.
Enjoy the show. Sun is shining. Weather is sweet.
It's
is
a little bit too hot.
No.
Yes.
Would you rather boiling heat or non-stop rain?
Obviously the heat.
Well, exactly. So don't
But then I was
complain.
thinking of all these people that have got suntans.
Everyone is tanned.
All of my friends. And I said, what have you been doing? And they said, sitting in the sun. I'm like,
Why aren't you working?
Well, who has time to sit in the sun?
I know. I thought exactly the same
Everyone's
thing.
got tan limbs. And
Apart
it's not
from
wash
us.
on, wash off, Sally Hands and 11 pounds that's on my limbs.
Meanwhile, I'm very happy. It's iced coffee season.
Season. Yes.
And we have just
I
come
am
back.
perturbed that's your first coffee of the morning and it's an iced variety.
You had a hot one, surely.
Yeah.
But what's the difference?
Because it's not the same hit.
Yeah, but you probably had yours at 6 a.m.
No, I had mine like 8.
Right, so I had
And
this
I
is
was
at 9.
thinking-
By 9 o'clock, you're ready to kind of
I
get
do
on with
take
your
that on board.
day.
But I was thinking, name me a better feeling than that first sip of coffee in the morning. Like, that just sets me up so beautifully for the day. Do you feel the same as I?
I'm not sure I do. I'm not sure I'm on that. Because it takes me a while to adjust. Like, I'm not a morning person.
We're
going to come on to
We're going to
this
come to that. But
because we have
honestly,
spent
I
3
think
days
you're
together.
really hard on yourself. I think that you're zesty and chatty in the morning, and I'm going to talk more about it later on in the show.
Vehicles. No, it definitely takes me a while to come to. I need that slow start. I need to get ready for the caffeine fix. So you're just like bang straight in, need that first sip. Whereas I just, take my time.
That's our personalities down to a T.
So we just got back from Istanbul.
Turkey.
A very full-on 3 days. We're going to go talk you through it, why we went. But we are feeling V-inspired, aren't we?
Very inspired, very... I feel like I've had a new lease of life. Why are you laughing?
No, I just didn't know what you were going to say.
Oh, I feel like really energized by it,
Yeah.
like really ready to take on everything, really.
To conquer the world.
Yeah. Tell everyone why we
I only
went.
laugh because usually your thoughts come so quickly and you speak so quickly. So that's why I was like, what is she going to say?
I'm
Is she feeling
I'm
good?
actually working on it because apparently you're meant to pause for like quite a few seconds before you start speaking, which probably you guys know I don't do ever. Don't ever try listening to me sped up 1.5 because you won't hear a thing. So yeah, I'm working on it.
Right. So Istanbul, where the majority of our suppliers for What the Brand, we do have suppliers and factories in India, where else? China. But the majority of them are in Istanbul. And we've now been, I think, 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been myself, Sarah and Nikki, our co-founder on the brand. And this trip, we took along our designer, Hope. For me, that was the biggest kind of pinch me moment.
Yeah.
Just knowing slowly but surely we're expanding, our team is growing, this is real and it's really exciting. So we left at 3 a.m. on Monday morning, didn't we?
We
It was
did.
brutal. Went to Heathrow.
I slept for about 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, you know that feeling.
Tossing and turning. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? And I was nervous for my alarm to go off. So I didn't
Always.
want to wake anyone else.
We arrived in Heathrow and many a stress came with that, which we will go into. But just going to give you the brief overflow.
Yeah.
Arrived in Istanbul, I think it was about lunchtime. And basically from lunchtime on Monday until Wednesday evening, we did not stop. We literally went from supplier to factory
to dinner meeting, lunch meeting.
It was so full on, but amazing at the same time. So Sarah, you explain.
So we were there to talk about Spring Summer 24, which actually blows my mind because everyone's first question is, oh, you're talking about winter.
Yeah.
And we're like, honeys, winter is done and dusted. We're already on to next spring summer. So we have our like design pack together, the items we want to create, lots of kind of products that we just want to like titivate and new versions of our own products. And we would go to the suppliers, we would share with them what the designs would be, Hope would be sketching, and we would just literally brain dump off each other, get creative, put together our new Spring Summer 24 collection, which is the most exciting thing because in those meetings, I don't think we realised what a big part of feeling good that process was to us, because I think we literally come alive in those meetings. Like, I didn't realize how passionate I was about the design process because it was something I'd never done before, but actually in those meetings we're like, this, that, trying on this, trying on that, let's make this black, let's make this white, let's turn up the sleeve. And I love it, like love it, don't you?
Just to interject there, because historically whenever we've gone to the supplier meetings abroad, our kind of usual protocol would be to have the designs all sketched up. We about maybe a month or two before going out there, send it all out to the suppliers. They then would sample up, and then when we arrived at the supplier, we would then try on the first sample
and then make changes to that sample. So this was quite a backwards,
completely different, because now we've got Hope with us. And her take on it was basically, guys, you're doing it all wrong. I've never done it like that before. We always go out to the factories and the suppliers with all of our ideas, with all of our references.
And then we look at fabrics and colours and
and create it there, so that, because also we are so specific with every single detail, with sleeve lengths and just like minor things.
The weight of cotton.
Yeah. So we had that opportunity to do it from scratch with everyone there. And so hopefully now when we receive our first sample that they will ship to us in a couple of weeks, fingers crossed, it will be kind of spot on from the get-go. Whereas before, we'd arrived in Turkey, try it on, we're not sure about this, can you change it?
And sometimes they'd make it in like really random colours, and it's really hard when you try something on and it's in like bright purple to think,
to visualise
I like that in black. But actually we were able to say, you know what, you could just make those in white, because at least then it's muted and you can kind of figure out how you'd style it. Because I think that's key to us. With our collection, we want to wear these pieces all day, every day. We have to create those pieces that we see in our wardrobes. And when you get excited about them and you're creating them and you're going to wear them, it's just like, it's the most amazing feeling.
And it is such a team effort, which is what I loved about the last 3 days. Like, even just having that opportunity. And I think, with all the lockdowns and everyone working from home, what I love about kind of being IRL with everyone and your team is that you can just, that instant bouncing off ideas that you lack when you're not together in real life. And so, we'd be around the table sketching it up, and then maybe Nikki might say, well, actually, you know what, I don't think we should do it like this because of X. And none of us would have thought about it like that. But then all of a sudden it made so much sense. And it's just having that creative space, get those creative juices flowing, which we literally thrive on. And just looking at all of our references and seeing kind of the latest muses about, and have to just mention how obsessed, this sudden obsession.
We're quite late to the game. We're quite late to the game.
I wouldn't. No, don't be hard on us.
We weren't around the wedding. We were very interested in Sophia Richie Grange.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say we were like, it was a slow burner. Whereas now she can do no wrong to us.
Isn't it
Every
amazing?
Inspiration image is like, you were going wild for her crochet.
Which is really
Unlike
strange
you.
for me, because normally crochet is not my vibe at all. I'm not like really into kind of
boho.
Well, I love it on if that's your vibe, I love it. But just for me personally, it's a bit too girly.
Wait
and
till SS24, guys.
Oh my gosh! But that's what I love it. You have a muse or someone that you are so inspired by, and it's how they style it and how they wear it and interpret it. It changes your mindset.
But then you take that to the next level and you interpret it in your own way. So you were very excited about crochet, and I was very, very into the maxi skirts. It's something I have kind of tried a bit now, but I don't think I've got it quite right. Whereas the linen-y kind of long, not floaty, straight down, I think is key. I'm very vibey for.
Would you do a denim long maxi?
Well, if you watched my reels last week, I was wearing a denim maxi from Mango, which I didn't buy, but I really liked it, and I looked back and I really liked it on.
I did see it, BFLs.
But I didn't feel that I would wear it enough to warrant buying it, because I felt that for me now, I would wear it with a white t-shirt and I wouldn't quite know what else to do with it. So I need to kind of see it a bit more. And I feel like I'm just trying to be a bit more mindful with spending, that kind of thing. I just didn't think it would work hard enough in my wardrobe, but I do really like the look. But I think for high summer, like a white skirt where that you can wear all your vests, you could wear a little crop top that touches. I felt like it felt more how I'd want to wear it for next summer.
Okay, I've got you. But I do think you would probably just always be drawn to wearing a simple tee.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless.
But I felt like I wouldn't wear it enough. Like I wouldn't wear it on the weekend, and yeah, I wasn't 100%.
Interested to know what you guys think. Are you into the maxi skirts?
Yeah,
skirts
tell us.
are going to have a huge comeback.
And the mini's back.
Even mini. Get ready for what the brand Spring Summer 24.
Very
many
exciting.
skirts coming. Yeah.
Obviously, though, we did have the most incredible time, and we're sitting here saying how fantastic it was. We felt so alive. But I will say traveling does come with anxiety, and I know it's something that I feel quite a lot, especially leaving the kids. We've been on quite a few work trips now. It's now part of our career path, which I still think I'm getting quite used to that, because we didn't really necessarily do it with shoots and stuff like that pre the brand, and I feel like it's ramped up quite a lot, and I do get that real anxious feeling kind of before going away, getting everything organised at home. I know we've shouted out to our super dads, super husbands before, so they did a fantastic job again.
And super grandmas.
And super grandmas, obviously. But yeah, I feel very anxious before I fly. And so I wanted to ask you, what are the things that you do if you feel anxious, and me, that we could share with the listeners that might help people if they kind of have similar feelings?
If I'm honest, I don't actually, until the last trip, obviously this week, traveling for me is such an exciting thing. I've always loved traveling. You know, even when I was at You Magazine, we would always go around the world. It was something that I loved, and it was like a passion of mine. So I actually never felt anxious about traveling before last week. And when you all of a sudden have that overwhelming wave of panic that you know is irrational, but you somehow can't calm yourself down about it, it's really scary. And so last week, just suddenly out of the blue, I just had this real, I'm going to say anxious. I don't even know if that what it was. It was just an unsettled feeling.
Yeah.
Obviously, the house is very unsettled at the moment. I was so panicked about leaving the kids. Alex is so busy at work, so I was worried about him having to kind of be more hands-on as well. I've shared this before, but I was missing Ava's first assembly. I was worried about Alfie's homework. Like, everything just felt like it was
a lot.
A big load. So just whenever those thoughts came to me, it's just readdressing it. So you know that sudden panic where you feel really hot and flustered? I just remember I was packing. So that was on Sunday afternoon. I was packing to go on Monday. And out of the blue, just this wave of like horrible, nasty feelings came over. So I literally just sat on my bed, closed my eyes, and just allowed myself to feel it. And then just like readdress it. So like to try and cancel out those feelings, remind myself why I'm going on this trip. So not kind of like push away those feelings, because all those feelings I was feeling were completely valid. But it was almost, I just needed to sit down, pause, close my eyes, kind of really think about what it is that's stressing me out, and then move on. And I probably had to do that like 3 or 4 times that evening. And that was like a really kind of a great like tool for me to cope with it. The minute I was at the airport, I was totally fine. And don't you always find that? I think I haven't been away with Alex now that we have 2, but we went away when Alfie was young. I think he was about 8 months, and my mum had Alfie. We were only away for the weekend, and I was really nervous leaving him for the first time. The minute I was at the airport, I was fine. I was like, I can do this again.
Alfie who?
And also, I think what also really helped me is when I then got back from the trip, we got back on Wednesday evening, just in time to see the kids. And Alfie was literally about to go to sleep, and I ran up to his bedroom, and I told him everything, where we went, what we did, about the suppliers, and he was so interested, asking me all these questions about, you know, what you know, just like cute little things that he came out with. And it was really lovely for me to be able to share what I was doing and how inspired I felt. And I, you know, as mums, if we're happy and we're feeling full of positive energy that's only going to have an amazing impact on how we parent. So I did a whole 360, and hopefully next time we now travel, I'll be able to kind of move into it a lot easier.
Or you also have the tool that if you do feel those feelings, you're validating them, you're accepting them, and you're dealing with them. And I think, it's so natural to feel certain things when you do different things. And I think you shouldn't punish yourself or be angry with yourself, which you didn't do, which I think is amazing, but you kind of sat with them and you dealt with them. And I think that's really, really, really important. It's just so natural to have those feelings, and we shouldn't make ourselves feel bad for them. I think for me, the anxiety kind of starts in the lead up. So being organized and being prepared really helps me not to have that like last minute panic, which always adds to the load. So obviously I tried on all my outfits before. I sent Phil's the photo so she knew what I was wearing, and I like packed on the Friday night before. And I remember you sent me a message being like, I'm jealous you're doing it now.
So jealous.
But I just needed to do that and close that case.
Yeah.
And also just a really funny tip that we both do that we only discovered recently that I think is really helpful is we have like a clear kind of makeup-y bag always packed with our plain essentials. So like our hand sanitizer, moisturizer, lip balm,
rescue remedy,
all ready to go. So actually you need to obviously put in like your tooth, because obviously we took a wheelie, you need to put in your toothpaste, your toothbrush. No, I actually have a spare one in there. You need to put in like your makeup and stuff. But it just makes that one thing.
It never gets unpacked.
Yes.
So basically you can always go to it and you've got your
just one less thing to worry about. But one of the things that I always get anxious about is I never want to get hungry and shaky Stevens, because when I dip, I get
definitely do not want to see Sarah when she is hangry.
But you know what? So I know I get hangry. So I am snack queen. I brought all the protein balls. I bought all the Snacker Jacks.
She spent £35 on snack balls.
They're called One Ball. They are so delicious for protein balls. They lasted beautifully on the plane. Everyone was very grateful. The team were very grateful for this deluxe protein balls that I was carrying around in my bag in the Turkey heat. But yeah, that's just like one little thing that's so silly, but that I get anxious about. So I knew that, so I kind of dealt with it beforehand. But I also wanted to say thank you to you.
Oh, that's
because
kind.
I like to move my body in the morning. And when I don't, that also kind of makes me feel anxious. So obviously Monday was a very early start. Tuesday we left at 8 for our first meeting. And we were very tired. But on day 3, Wednesday, I felt the need to like move in the morning. So I said to Phil's, do you mind if I wake up early? I don't want to be selfish and set an alarm, but I think I need to wake up in the morning and like move or go for a walk or do something. And you were very supportive. You weren't like, oh my God, why are you waking? Not that you would be, but I think when you share a room with someone, I didn't want to be selfish on you and be like, I'm setting an alarm at 6 if you wanted to sleep. And you were like, no, I will sleep through anything. Like, you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
I didn't make you feel bad by me wanting to walk, and you didn't make me feel bad for wanting to walk, if that makes sense.
I do understand. I mean, I just maybe like sleep is my thing.
Yeah.
Something like that would never disturb me because,
Yep.
but also I guess, yeah, like I know you so well. Like we know each other better than we know ourselves. And I know, when someone has all that energy that they kind of need to offload and have their own way of doing it, I knew that was your thing. So I would never want you to feel uncomfortable to kind of help yourself, if that makes sense.
Anyway, it just worked so well because I got up, I went out, I did my walk with Nikki because she's also a bit like me. You stayed asleep, came back with our coffees for the room, and I felt so much better and I needed it, and I was really happy that I was able to kind of do what I need to do. You did what you need to do, and it was just the perfect mix. So we're very good bedfellows, if anyone was wondering. And
I have to say, I do think we share a room very, very well.
We do. We're very chilled.
Yeah.
But we have got a funny little cultural story from Turkey, don't we?
So every time we go, we have one supplier who we've worked with since pretty much the beginning when we launched the brand. And she's really lovely. She's full of life, full of energy.
She says we're family.
Yeah. And she treats us like that, which is so nice to be able to have a working relationship and have those feelings. And it's a cultural thing, which is it's warm, it's friendly.
And I love experiencing different cultures.
But after you've had a really long day, and we were up since 3 a.m. But of course, we were definitely gonna go wherever she wanted to take us
for dinner.
After bearing in mind we'd been up since 3, we didn't leave her office till 8,
and we'd been in a 5-hour meeting with her,
and then off we went to dinner
with her mum, her son, her fiance, herself, her colleague, which a lot of them also don't speak English.
Yeah.
But they were just so happy to kind of meet us and be with us. And they don't let you order. They just order all these things for you. This is a surprise. Try it. And you're like, I don't want to try a surprise. What's inside the surprise? Just taste it. You'll love it.
And it was lamb, and I don't eat lamb, and I'm eating it. I'm like, this is delicious. And it was only after Sarah said, that was lamb. Oh my God,
well, we weren't next to each other. I didn't see you eating it. I would have warned you.
But it was like literally a 5-course meal, non-stop. It was delicious, but it was just...
And you were so full. And also you don't want to offend them, because what they do is they order all these things and then the waiter just comes and he puts things on your plate and you feel rude to say, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. Or you feel rude to leave it on your plate. So you're like eating all this food and it's so late. It was
very funny. So anyway, we loved Istanbul. It was great.
We'll be back again soon.
Positive experience. And we just wanted to share what we got up to.
Okay, Turkey over and out. I need to share a strange story that happened to me last weekend, and I really need to offload.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
I need to offload
guys,
because I don't know if I behaved badly in this. So I'm at soft play at the David Lloyd, a very small soft play, last weekend with the kids, and there's like maybe 7 kids in there, and suddenly Craig says, "That kid's naked." Right, so the kids he wasn't in a nappy, so he probably was 3.5, and this kid is full on, this little boy, totally naked, running up and down going down like the slide with his bum cheeks, going down the steps with his bum cheeks, with Evie's then licking. I could literally see her crawling up after. So I'm like, oh my God.
That's
I kind of said to the little room, I was like, someone's kid's naked. And this woman was like, oh, he's mine. I'm like, well, do you want to take him out?
Yes.
He's naked. And she's like, well, how am I supposed to do that? He's running around.
Oh gosh. Well, that's
so I was like, well,
problem.
I don't know. It's your kid.
Yeah.
She was really, really flustered, and I get like it was a tricky situation, but it wasn't for me to be watching her kid to see that your kid's been running around naked for like over 5 minutes. Then she goes in, she's like, well, I've got to find his clothes. I said, no, why don't you try and get him out first because he's naked, and then go get his clothes. Yes. And it was just, I was getting her up because I was thinking, if there's a bit of poo in his bum and the kid's going to touch him.
Health and safety, that's not acceptable.
And no one else seems to be that perturbed in the soft play apart from me. And I was getting like quite irate that then finally the dad came over and like, I'm really sorry, like your kid should not be naked, right? So they took him away, whatever. He comes back 15 minutes later, strips off again and does it again. So I said to Craig, we're going to go now because this is just not
No, I don't
good.
think that is correct.
Would you have behaved like that?
When
I was quite firm.
When I was younger, I used to like to have a little strip, but in my own house.
Well, that's quite different. Yes. In soft play with your bum cheeks going down the slide.
In your own environment, where it's a safe environment.
By the way, when she said she was younger, she means when she was 33.
But I have to tell you, a kind of same but different story happened to us. Obviously, this heat wave that we are enduring at the moment. Last weekend, it was very, very hot.
Yes.
We went out it was probably the same day that you had this naked kid
Maybe
gate.
It was like Naked Sunday.
Naked Sunday. It was Sunday. Went out for lunch with friends. We went to a local Italian, which we love, but it's in a glass house with 0 aircon. So you can
Terrible
imagine.
Choice.
Absolutely hideous. Why we went there, I've got no idea. It was a lovely lunch, but you know, when everyone is so hot, and you can't even blame the kids for their behaviour because the adults feel it as well. Everyone's flustered. The restaurant was so loud. No one knows what to order. Everyone's just kind of getting a bit edgy. And Ava, bless her, I dressed her in like a cute little denim short play suit with a t-shirt underneath. So she's sitting next to me. Well, first of all, she wanted to sit on my lap. You know, when you're just so hot and you're oh my God, no, please, please, please. So then once she had settled, sat her down next to me. I'm hot, Mummy, I'm hot. I'm like, okay, we're all hot. And I was getting even more hot because she was telling me she was hot. So we're all hot, Ava. Let's just calm down. Just sit there, watch my phone. Just chill. Just be still. So literally like about 5 minutes later, I'm chatting to my friend Cassie, and then Alex goes, Philippa, Ava's naked. She wasn't naked. She had taken her dungarees off, so she was like in a t-shirt and knickers in the restaurant. So I'm like, Ava, you can't do that. And she was getting so upset. And then obviously the older siblings were then laughing at her. Then she was getting upset that they were laughing at her. The whole thing just turned into be a absolute disaster.
So they didn't get naked though, because sometimes that's actually what happens is they all follow suit.
Well, I just took her t-shirt off and then put the dungarees back on, but Yeah, the heat it disturbs the mental flow, doesn't
Apparently.
it?
So hopefully this weekend we'll have no more naked short stories to share with you.
So recently we've had a ton of new wave messages come in about our makeup, any tips that we have to share. So we thought we would create a little section on today's episode about the best kind of advice we've ever been given in terms of makeup, beauty, and so forth. And it actually really brought me back to when I was at You Magazine, and I used to go on all the editorial shoots and love watching the makeup artists get the models ready and kind of seeing the products.
Picking up the tips.
Oh, just seeing what they're using, how they use it. Because that's the thing, you know, even with an artist, like it's how you do it.
You can have all the things, doesn't mean you're good at putting them together.
Exactly. So when I was at You Magazine, we always worked with a gorgeous makeup artist, Amanda Grossman. And I was always so inspired with how she got the models ready for the shoot.
And how she smelled.
Oh my gosh, her perfume, which she has actually brought out now with Kat Deely. It is beyond amazing. And her nails were always amazing. You know that person, her hair's so glossy, skin, nails, scent, like everything is just spot on. And for her, it was all about eyebrows. And before then, I mean, how old was I? I was maybe about 22 at the time. I'd never filled in my eyebrows before. She told me how important it was and how it just shapes your face. And now, if someone was to ask me what my kind of like desert island must-have makeup item would be, I would say probably an eyebrow pencil. Like often, I don't wear, if I'm just dropping the kids or going to the gym, I'd much rather put my eyebrows in than anything else. It makes such a huge difference. And I remember she introduced me to, did you ever order, it's called $1 Billion Brows?
No.
So back in the day, like that was the eyebrow pencil to use.
It's a pencil?
It's just an eyebrow pencil, but she said it was like the best of the best. And I think it was from America, and I used to spend like crazy amount to import it over here. And she told me that I need to do it. You have to, I don't know if you do this, comb your eyebrows up.
Yeah.
So like kind of
fluff them,
and then only put the pencil at the bottom line, like
I
do
that.
So there you go. So that was the tip that I learned from Amanda Grossman.
I can't stop looking at your eyebrows now, by the way.
Are they looking good?
They're looking good. I will say I've got quite dark eyebrows, and they're not that sparse, so I do fill them in, but I wouldn't say it's my like desert island, but I do very much enjoy having them tinted. Because then I really don't need to do anything for a while. It's like pre-holiday when I'm getting all my bits waxed, I'm going to get my eyebrows tinted and I'm going to feel spot on for holiday.
But I see, I've done it a couple of times and it's just, I always say, please don't go
but
dark.
you've actually got quite fair eyebrows.
I do. So when you go,
you could go from one extreme to another.
And that is not a good look either.
No, that is not a good look. My best piece of advice, which I am ashamed to say, it's probably only the last 6-7 years, probably when I was in my 30s, was wear SPF every day, because I always felt like, oh, it's not in the sun, or I don't need to. Obviously I would wear it on holiday and in the summer, but I wouldn't wear it like in winter. But that is like ultimate for good skin when you're older, not to worry, to wear SPF. And we've had so many questions because obviously the weather, the one that we love at the moment. And let's say it on 1, 2, 3. Beauty Pie. It's so good. The Invisible Shield one. It's so light, factor 50. And also it's really glowy and glossy.
It's like a primer as well.
So then you can kind of put on your foundation and it just looks so beautiful.
It is really
But
good.
I have got an influencer talking about SPF that I want to share with you right now because you don't know about this.
Ooh.
And I bought it.
Spill.
This was a 12 a.m. purchase.
Spill the tea.
Okay. So I obviously put on SPF in the morning. But on a hot day, especially with holiday coming up, if you're wearing like a bit of contour or you're wearing like just something on your face, you can't smudge it in. Let me introduce you to Garnier Over Makeup Super UV, a spray that you spray over your face to top up your SPF. You want me to do it now? Okay.
Oh, it's like a mist. Oh, hello.
So it's gone in my mouth.
Can I have some?
Sure. It's gone in my hair and in my mouth, so it don't...
Over Makeup Super UV. What is it, 50?
50. I'm going to see if I... Ah! It's quite wet, isn't it?
Oh, it smells like holiday.
Look at my glow.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we are quite wet from the product.
And it's also
but
quite hot in here. It's good, isn't it?
Suitable under and over makeup. That is brilliant, BF.
Isn't that so good? And it's really reasonable.
Love that. And actually, we are both going to really try to avoid putting... I know you are very good at this anyway. I'm a bit of a sun worshipper, but I'm going to try my best this summer to protect my face more. So my mum actually gave me this tip to use an SPF with like a tinted glow.
Yes, exactly.
But
so there's one I read about.
I'm quite a sweaty face person, so that's the only thing I'm worried about.
So there's this ultraviolet one that I keep reading about on like beauty people that I think we should order from like Space NK that I'm going to look into for us.
Okay, well, we'll suss it out and then we'll let you guys know.
I do have one question though, talking of now that I'm really trying to not get my face in the skin. I don't have a good
face in the sun.
Face in the sun. I don't have a good hat. And if I was to buy a hat, I don't know what I want it to look like, because you can't lie down wearing a hat because at the back. And you can't be in the pool with a big hat on. What does one wear?
A cap.
I can't wear a cap.
Why?
I feel a bit boyish.
Quite sporty, isn't it? Well, maybe you need two.
Maybe I need
like a straw hat for kind of like when you're bougie vibes, like standing around with your drink.
Taking my outfit of the day.
Exactly. And then you need like a practical cap.
Can we get on this?
We need to find a chic
What about
version.
a visor? Like a wicker visor?
I'm not sure I'm there
Moving
yet.
on. So anyway, this was my influencer, the Over Makeup Super UV. Do you have an influencer for me this week?
Cute
Whoa. I was very intrigued by this on holiday.
So I spotted this on a TikTok hair tutorial that I was watching a couple of weeks ago. Orib, a lovely brand. I just love.
Visually beautiful.
It's the packaging that does it for me. I'm such a sucker, but they can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Beautiful packaging, but I have to say their products are very, very nice. If you are in the market or wanting to treat yourself, or if you've got a birthday coming up and you want something luxurious for your hair, check out their products. So this is the Split End Seal, and it basically does what it says on the tin. But also, more of a genius fact is that, you know, the floofy bits that we get at the top, which
not like what I have here, obviously.
Just cannot control them.
Oh my God.
Until I discovered this. So I literally do like 2 pumps, smudge it in. I then like seal my split ends.
Yeah.
Particularly the split ends around my face, because they are the worst, and then just go in at the top. Doesn't make your hair greasy, but it just relaxes it, flattens it, calms it down.
I will say, every trip we go on, you have like some kind of new hair thing that you make me need to buy.
I'm working on it.
Another thing that I actually just want to shout out about, which I always forget about, which is like your go-to, so good for traveling, is the reusable. She's brought me one because I only have 2 and they were dirty.
She stole them from me from the last trip.
Reusable makeup pads, but they're not just like a washable, you put something on them. It's wizardry. You wet this is from Jojo Glow, and it takes your makeup off. You don't have to put any product on there. I don't understand. How does it work?
It's some special technology in the toweling.
The cloth.
It's so clever. It will take off the heaviest makeup. Biggest shout out to the owner of this brand, Jojo Glow, because she was my wedding makeup artist.
So nice.
And she is so lovely. And she's brought out these amazing reusable
because I find
pads.
You know, at home when you've got your cleanser and it's a lot to take, and my cleanser's like humongous, so I'd never be able to take it on holiday with me, and for a few day trip take a few of these with you, absolutely fantastic. So
and as my grandma always says, all you need is water to take off your makeup.
There you go. So obviously no week on Twins That Unzipped would be complete without me sharing something I've learned from a podcast this week, because I feel like...
Who's it been this week, Bea?
This week I saw it on Brooklyn Blonde. We love her. Mm-hmm. She shared this episode of the Mel Robbins podcast that she listened to, and it was about the let them theory.
Ooh, heavy.
I did tell you about this on the plane and you were very intrigued by it.
I was.
So I'm going to share it for you guys. So basically, the example she used for the let them theory, essentially it's let them, which I'm going to expand on. It was her son's prom. 20 of his friends, they were at a friend's house. They were getting ready for their prom, taking photos. All the parents were there. It was pissing with rain. They hadn't booked anywhere to go to eat. When Mel Robbins found this out, she was like, "Oh my God, you haven't got anywhere to eat. Let me call here. Let me do this." Getting all involved. Then one of the kids suggested going to this restaurant, which was like a tiny, you know, like hole in the wall with like 6 chairs around the bar. She was like, "You can't go there. You're going to get wet." Like really putting her anxieties on the situation. And then she thought to herself, let them. If they want to go to this hole in the wall in the pouring rain, they're 18 years old, let them. That could end up being the most memorable part of their prom night. Let them queue, let them go and have their night. And actually, that can be applied to so many different situations that you cannot control. You know, I think if you have anxiety, sometimes the need to control is kind of quite overwhelming. So, for example, when we got to the airport, which we discussed at the beginning of the episode, it was quite stressful because the queue to the luggage to kind of board the plane was really, really, really big. In the past, it's taken us 15 minutes to get through. We were there 2.5 hours early, and we were queuing for like an hour and 15 minutes. The old me, I would feel the anxiety rising. I would feel like, why aren't we at the front? Are we going to make the plane? We haven't even had a coffee. You know, I need my caffeine fix. Ooh, we're going to be late. I don't want to run to the airport. And all these catastrophizing kind of mindset would kind of kick in. Whereas I'd listened to the podcast the night before. Let them. I don't know what the bigger picture is. One of the staff had come over and said, don't worry, everyone's on this flight. You're all going to make it. It's absolutely fine. That wouldn't have normally helped me in the past. Whereas I thought, let them. Let us queue. I can't change the situation.
I'm really enjoying how you're saying let them.
Yeah. No, I keep saying it in my head the whole time. I can't control the situation. I can't change the situation. I can accept the situation and let them and let it be. And it's blown my mind. And I feel like you can apply that to so many things. I didn't need to be in heart attack level stress because we were queuing for 1.5 hours. If someone in the car in front of me is being a psycho and like beeping in traffic, I don't need to let them stress me out. Mm-hmm. Let them do them and I will do me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know it's the most simple thing, but I think sometimes, you know, in life, it's just my go-to is sometimes just to go from 0 to 1,000, whereas actually taking a step back, pausing, letting them, whoever it is, do their own thing is actually such a good way to think about it.
I think also it depends on the situation. Like if it's completely, you know, something that you have to get out, like it's not normal to always just be that person that's just so chilled, because also that also has a negative side to it. If you kind of, you know, you need a rocket up your ass to kind of get going, or you need to react to a situation to make it happen. But I think if you are someone that, as you say, goes from 0 to hero, and that's a very unsettling feeling, and then all of a sudden your mindset blows out of control, if you can have those tools to calm yourself down and actually see the bigger picture, as you said, and actually realize this isn't a big deal, like let it go, as you say, let them. Funnily enough, on Friday, Ava she gets colouring homework every week and a bit of writing. And every week I sit down with her, and she's such a different child to Alfie. Like with Alfie, I really need to, you know, think about my vocab with him to get him to sit down. It has to be a very calm situation. It usually ends in tears, me, him, because bless him, he just wants to kick a ball around. Whereas with Ava, such a different child. Like she always asks me, can I do my homework? She wants to do it. She wants to sit down. She wants to learn. She loves it. She's got this obsession. So they get a picture every week, and she just loves rainbow colours. She wants to make it rainbow every week. She wants to use 1,000 colours to just colour in like one turtle. So last week it was, I can't even remember, probably like a bear to colour in. And she's using a brown, then she's using a black, and then she's using like a mustard colour, like all like really horrible colours. Oh no, sorry, it was a duck. I was like, why don't we do the duck yellow? She was like, no, I want to do the duck rainbow. I'm like, okay, fine. So it's like it's just like taking that step back, and then fine. In my head, I was like, okay, she wants to do a pretty rainbow picture. No. She's got all these like dirgy, horrible, ugly colours. And so many times I went to her, come on, let's just do it all yellow. She's like, no, I want to do it rainbow. And then she's probably feeling it. She's, you know, getting really involved with the colouring. She's going out the line. She's getting a bit messy. And it was really hard to just breathe. Do not, because she has to do it herself. It's not my homework.
Yeah. And she has to be her.
She has to express herself in her own way. And then I guess on a bigger scale, which I often think I was listening to that Bear Grylls on Capital a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about kids at school. You know, some of the kids that thrive at school, they never make any mistakes. They, you know, there are those kids that just do so well at school, and then they come out of school into the big wide world, and they've never had to ride any waves. They've never had to overcome a struggle, and then they're like faced with something that they don't know how to control. So once I listened to him put it like that, and allow your kids to make the mistakes. Allow them to express themselves how they want to.
Because then they'll never learn the life lessons.
Exactly.
You know, she says there are obviously a few ways where the let them rule doesn't work. If someone's in danger or if you're being treated unfairly.
Correct.
But she said, let your kids do their washing. Let them, I mean, obviously not at like age 5, let them see that if you put black in with white, it's going to run, because then they're never going to do it again. They're going to learn that lesson. You know, let them forget their lunch, because if you're going to go back there and you're going to give them their lunch every day, they're never going to learn, hey, I need to leave the house in the morning with my lunch. And I just thought it was just a really simple but amazing and quick. You know how sometimes if you're having a moment and you're like, think of 20 things you're grateful for, or go onto your phone and look at your pictures, it requires quite a lot of effort, whereas this, you could just literally say, let them. So on that note, let them end this episode.
Episode 16.
We are on fire.
I've really enjoyed this episode.
Me too.
We've gone from like here, there, and everywhere, and in between.
Hang on a second.
Go on.
We didn't cry. So James, podcast producer James, first episode, we didn't cry. Thank you very much.
I often do see like your eyes look a little bit teary, and I think, oh, is she going to go?
It's just my eyes.
Episode 16. It was a good one. I hope you guys have enjoyed it.
Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, leave us a 5-star review, and we will see you next week for episode 17.
Bye.